Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, October 9th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I will do a bonus analysis at the end. A couple of quick disclosures here. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol YANG, did this one yesterday. That is where the trend line there is coming from. And if you watched yesterday's video, you knew that, or hopefully you remember me talking about that level right there, providing a potential bounce. Now, did I think the bounce would be that massive? I did not think that, but right there, the power of charts. Beautiful bounce off that lower trend line. I'll get rid of that for now, and we'll get some new levels updated. So moving forward, the newest level of support, what I would call the ideal level. I mean, say, hey, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest moving forward? And that would be if the price can stay up there above $3.19. Now, don't get me wrong, if the price falls below there, not the end of the world, but if the price can stay above there, certainly a best case scenario. Now, from a bigger picture standpoint, that's where the purple line here comes into play, the 50 period at simple moving average. Keyword being moving, because I understand the price is way up here, that line's way down there. But as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher. So from an overarching standpoint, as long as the price is above that purple line, then the bulls are in 100% ownership of the chart. In terms of areas of resistance moving forward, key battleground to watch now is going to be right around that gap close location, which sits right around $3.63. But anyway, look at it. Huge volume today. Nice upward spike. Now it's just a question of can the price start to build some higher lows? We'll see what happens. Next one, BURU, and a nice pattern here has formed. So let's get this pattern drawn into play. And as I draw this pattern, please understand that I'm not trying to imply this is a great discovery on my part or some sort of special talent. I assure you a lot of people have drawn a pattern very similar to this, and I make that comment because when a lot of people are watching the same patterns and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So right there we have the resistance portion of the pattern. Here we have the support. Let me make that a little bit more symmetrical. And let me change that to green to represent support. And then just to make it easier to see, let's keep it all one color here. So we have our resistance. We have our support. We have the big upwards move right there. And then for you golfers out there, put the golf foot on here. This is what we would call a bull pennant pattern. Just because it's bullish does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to go up. But would it be shocking? Would it catch people off guard if this thing all of a sudden decided to explode to the upside? It would not. And again, even if you want to just call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, I have no problems with that. So if you like the price range down around the dollar mark, you like bull pennants, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one, LASE, absolutely monster mover today. And now it's pulled back here a little bit, but all things considered, good solid mover, and it's definitely got some more room where it can potentially find some momentum. So let's map out a couple of the key levels, and we'll start with levels of support. First key level going to be that purple line right there, 50 period moving average. That was an area of resistance you can see right here, but classic example or classic rule really in charting is when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So moving forward, staying above that level right there, the purple line, which is currently valued at $7.35. That would be the ideal sign of strength here moving forward. Now, the muscle level, so again, let me change that to green, is what I would call down here at the 625 mark. And that is because, I'm not saying this will occur, but just for explanation's sake, if the price were to come down to that level and then break down below it, what would you have at that point in time? You would quite literally have the price having gone right back to where it was. And I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that make great moves and then all of a sudden go right back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine power. Again, I'm not saying that the price will do that, just trying to explain why that level right there is a very, very important level of support. In terms of areas of resistance, key battleground right now to watch, going to be right up here at that level, which sits around the $9.50 mark, so keep an eye on that. And if the price can break through there, like I said, there's some room to run because really next level until after 950, not until up there, that pink line there, the 200 period moving average, at right around $11.50. But all in all, monster volume today. Fantastic price movement. Let's see if that momentum carries into Wednesday. Next one, ticker symbol OTRK. And this is one pretty ugly looking chart, but there's also some interesting dynamics here. So just to set the context here a little bit, gapped up, opening 30 minutes, absolutely beautiful, huge move. And then you can see from there, absolutely bled and bled and bled. And then when it starts with this area, it becomes a very valid question. Was this just a pump and dump? Is this thing gonna gap close, go right back to where it started? And as of now, seemingly no, it did start to go sideways. And not only did it go sideways, the location of where it went sideways makes it intriguing, that location being right here at that pink line, the 200 period moving average, which you would expect to act as support. And so far so good, it is indeed acting as support. Now let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because the price dropped down a whole lot, and just because it's now going sideways at a moving average, does not mean that for sure guaranteed the price is going to go back upwards. But is it way more plausible? Does it make a lot more sense? Yeah, case in point, let's say the price was still dropping and doing something like this, and then I'm sitting here saying, hey, it's looking like this could be the bottom, it's looking like this thing may be ready to bounce back upwards. You'd be totally justified to say, wait, based on what? The price is literally still just dropping straight down. But that's not the case here. The price has started to go sideways. So again, that guarantees nothing. It just makes it a lot more plausible that maybe, just maybe, this pullback is over and this thing's going to get ready to try to curl back upwards and make a move, back, not necessarily to the highs, but even if it never went to the highs, from where it is right here, you could still be looking at a good risk versus reward scenario. So keep an eye on this one if you like these situations where things are looking ugly, but there is still some opportunity. Next one, NVDA, and the upwards move continues here as, this thing's been put in higher lows and nothing new in regards to that. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little house clean and get rid of that level. And first key update, just based on that rule that I mentioned earlier, when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So moving forward, the ideal level, again, ideal meaning what would make the chart look the best moving forward, that would be, can the price stay above 130.65? If it can't, not the end of the world, because from the big picture standpoint, you still have that purple line there, 50 period moving average. So as that line moves higher and higher, it's essentially a trend line that's drawing itself for you. So as long as the price stays above the trend line from an overarching standpoint, then the overall trend is still plenty in the bull's favor. And then in terms of areas of resistance, just to give a little bit more context on that, as I zoom back into the history of the chart, you can see that it's been a very, very, very long time since the price has been up around this area of the chart. So quickest way to just answer that is, to figure that out, is just ask the question, where did the party finally stop today? And that was right up there at 133.50. So no fancy reasoning behind that other than just asking a very basic question there. But all in all, from a bigger picture standpoint, as long as this thing keeps on putting those higher highs and higher lows, that's the name of the game. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online event that I'm offering here later on in the week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link in the description box you can use to sign up. Or if you're watching right at my website, there's an area on the page here you can use to sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Next one here, ticker symbol TSLA Tesla. And all things considered, not a whole lot of action today, especially from the bigger picture standpoint. That being defined as this overall channel here, which I've talked about in past videos. Top of the channel resistance being at 251.25, bottom of the channel support being at 236. So from that angle, you can see that the price is basically just hovering right around the middle of that overall channel. Now, zooming in here and looking at things a little bit closer, you can see that there's essentially a couple key areas of resistance. I'm going to go ahead and add in that resistance trend line right there because you can see right there, and I'm going to change it up just a little bit. But that is very clearly, the level where the price struggled throughout the course of the day. Now, even if the price does break above there, I want to get overly excited because not that far away, you then have the pink line up there, up above, which could very well act as resistance, that being the 200 period moving average right now valued at 247.60. So don't get me wrong, breaking above that resistance line in there, that is a good thing. That is a bullish thing. I'm just saying don't get too excited about it. And then as far as areas of support are concerned, with today's movement now, I'm curious about how this trend line behaves within the overall pattern. So again, change that to green for support and then just make it look a little different. So keep an eye on that from a support standpoint. So that's just a long way of saying, if you look at just today individually, basically there is this wedge formation forming, and it now just becomes a question of which way is the price ultimately going to break out through the wedge. As of right now, you'd have to give the advantage to the bulls for it to break to the upside, but we'll see how Wednesday plays out. Next one here, ticker symbol AGRI, and this is another one of these, looked very, very ugly, and it still does look pretty ugly. Big spike here, price absolutely collapsed down to there. But now what makes this interesting is going back to these moving averages, it did level out right at that pink line, went sideways, and now you're starting to see some upwards life here, which allows for a very exciting question to be asked. Is this the start of something bigger? Now, to be fair, maybe it's not. Maybe this is just a little dead cat bounce. This thing's getting ready to continue to plunge. Totally possible. That's why risk management matters. But that is a two-sided coin because, I mean, well, maybe this is the start of something bigger, and this thing's getting ready to rip and roar to the upside. So very basic premise. Got absolutely hammered down, did start to go sideways, is now starting to show some signs of life. So yes, is this sign of life something bigger? If you like penny stocks, you like these sorts of scenarios, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one here, ticker symbol BPTH, and same general idea to an extent. I don't know if this one got as ugly, but I guess now that I think about it out loud here, I mean, it was up there, it dropped all the way down there. So at that moment in time, this thing was looking real ugly, but now as I speak, this thing has returned back to life. So yeah, the move's kind of already happened, but it's still fair to say, well, maybe there's a bigger move to come, and that's where this key area of resistance comes into play right there at the $1.21 mark. You can see there in this consolidation area right there. That's right where the price struggled, and the price is now getting within striking distance of that area. So while nothing is guaranteed, certainly more than plausible to think, even if you, like I said earlier, want to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, that if the price were to come up here and then break up through there, that break in and of itself could very well create additional buying pressure. So yeah, all eyes on $1.21 tomorrow. Nice move, or not necessarily a nice move down, but big move down. Nice recovery back upwards, but can this recovery push up through $1.21? We'll see what happens. Next one, NIO, and not a good day at all. Not necessarily because it was a red day, but just because it was breaking down through all sorts of areas of support. So I'm going to get rid of that level and then just take away that area up there. First key update comes about based on that rule, and levels of support are broken and closed below. They tend to act as resistance, so changes from green to red. And you can see this rule played out quite perfectly here. Price came up here, and then surprise, surprise, look right where the price struggled, right around that area there at $6.40. So if there is any sort of attempted recovery back upwards, then $6.40 is going to be that first key battleground to watch. If the price does push above there, next key area to watch will be that purple line there, 50-period moving average. But one step at a time, let's just first see if the price can even get above 640. In terms of areas of support, very straightforward as of right now, headed into Wednesday. All eyes going to be on that pink line right there, which you now know is the 200-period moving average. So keep a close eye on that. And, you know, that'll definitely be an area where even if the price breaks below it, that would be a signal that something's not quite right anymore, and that could prompt in and of itself even more downside selling pressure. So pretty straightforward right now. You have a cut and dry area of resistance. You have a very cut and dry level of support. So we'll see how Wednesday all unfolds. Next one, ticker symbol TQQQ. Very, very impressive move today, especially when yesterday things were looking a bit shaky, being all the way down here, but got the gap up this morning, and then even after that has been having a very, very good day. And then even within all of that, a very, very solid afternoon as the price has just been one green candle after another. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level as it served its purpose for now. And really, next key battleground of resistance, or I want to focus on the resistance levels here, with that next key battleground being right there, give or take around $73.50. Going back to the history of things, you can see here, price struggled. Right there, price struggled. And it's still got a little bit of leeway before it gets up there, but I think that's going to be a key battleground where a lot of people are going to be throwing up the question mark. Are the bulls going to have enough power to break through that level if it can get up there? Now, if the price does pull back, then no need to overcomplicate it from a support standpoint. With the price now back above these two moving averages, 50-period moving average, 200-period moving average, those will be the main areas of support headed into Wednesday and really the remainder of the week. But anyway, look at it. Impressive move today. Good volume. It's now approaching this very key level of 73.50. So let's see if the bulls can keep up the momentum and push through it on Wednesday. I'll get to Bitcoin here in just a second. But again, if you enjoyed what you saw here and you want to learn more about the tool, then definitely go get signed up for the free class. It'll be a couple days from now, Thursday, October 10th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And it is a genuine live event. And I say that because there's a question and answer session. So if you have questions, please bring them and I'd be happy to answer them live for you. All right, now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification here. I am now on the 4-hour time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 4 hours and not 30 minutes. And I like to do that time frame just because Bitcoin is open 24/7. So in order for this analysis to remain relevant for as long as possible, using the longer time frame allows me to do that. So I'm just going to walk you through a couple questions, and based on how you answer these questions, that's really going to dictate how the chart is playing out. So what I want to do here from a resistance standpoint, because basically there's a pattern here that is formed. Top of the pattern right there, resistance at 64,185. And then the bottom of the pattern just down here at that pink line, which you now know is the 200-period moving average. So really, it's very straightforward. And, you know, I'm a little jealous of those of you that are watching this video 15, 20 hours from now because you're going to have a much better idea. But the question is just simply, where is the price relative to these two areas? If you're answering the question that the price is above here, then that would tell you things are going very, very well. In fact, there's a bullish breakout of the pattern. If you're answering the question, well, actually, Clay, the price is down below there, well, it's telling you things are bad. There's a bearish breakdown of this pattern. Or if you're saying, well, Clay, actually, the price is just in between these areas, well, that would just tell you that Bitcoin is continuing to consolidate. So it's not always this cut and dry for Bitcoin, but in this situation with this pattern here that is formed, it really is just that cut and dry. Where is the price? That's the main question. Where is the price relative to these couple lines? You're either going to have a breakout, you're going to have a breakdown, or you're going to have the price in between these two lines still, and you'll just be able to chalk that up at that point to consolidation. So for those of you watching this later on, like I said, it'll be interesting to see where this is actually at whenever you do watch this video. And as I invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin trader to get signed up for this free live class, because what you're learning about can and certainly should be used within the world of Bitcoin and crypto. So go get signed up. Like I said, it'll be a couple of days from now, Thursday, October 10th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As always, if you enjoy these videos, hit that like button, leave a comment below if you have a request, and I'll do my best to get to that one in a future video. So thanks for watching. Go get signed up for that free training.